At Crown Jewel on October 11, 2025, Bronson Reed stunned the world by defeating Roman Reigns, but it wasn't just the victory that had everyone talking, it was the shocking betrayal that unfolded when the Usos, in a catastrophic mistake, took out their own tribal chief. This isn't just another match recap, this is a story of broken trust, fractured family ties, and the raw, unfiltered drama that makes WWE more than just a sport. It's a saga that resonates with every fan who's ever felt the sting of betrayal. For American fans, who pack arenas with unmatched passion, and the UK crowd in London, where wrestling's gritty tradition runs deep, this moment at Crown Jewel hit like a sledgehammer to the heart. The echoes of that night are still reverberating, and we're here to unpack every gut-wrenching detail. Please like, share, and subscribe for more WWE content. Let's set the stage. Crown Jewel, one of WWE's grandest spectacles, held under the bright lights of Saudi Arabia, but the emotional weight of this night was felt across the Atlantic. In living rooms across America, fans were glued to their screens, while British fans in London pubs roared with every near fall. Roman Reigns, the indomitable tribal chief, had been the cornerstone of WWE's modern era, a figure who embodied loyalty and dominance. But Bronson Reed, the colossal Australian, was no ordinary challenger. He was a force of nature, hungry to carve his name into WWE history. The match itself was a brutal masterpiece. Reed's raw power clashed with Reigns' calculated precision, each move a testament to their unrelenting drive. The US crowd erupted with chants as Reigns landed a Superman punch, only for Reed to counter with a tsunami that shook the ring. Across the pond, British fans in London couldn't believe it when Reed kicked out of a spear, their cheers echoing the UK's storied wrestling tradition. This wasn't just a fight, it was a collision of legacies, and the tension was palpable. But then, the unthinkable happened. The Usos, Roman's blood brothers, his trusted lieutenants in the bloodline, stormed the ring to aid their tribal chief. The plan was clear: neutralize Reed's momentum. But in a moment that will haunt WWE history, their interference backfired. A mistimed superkick from Jimmy Uso caught Reigns square in the jaw, leaving him crumpled in the ring. The arena fell silent. Across America, fans were in shock, their jaws on the floor as the Usos stood frozen, realizing their catastrophic error. The betrayal, accidental or not, cut deeper than any scripted storyline. For fans in the US, where loyalty to family and team is a cultural cornerstone, this moment felt personal. The UK crowd, steeped in the gritty realism of wrestling's past, saw it as a Shakespearean tragedy unfolding before their eyes. Bronson Reed, ever the opportunist, capitalized with a devastating tsunami, pinning Reigns for the 3 count. The referee's hand hit the mat, and the wrestling world was turned upside down. Let's talk about the fallout. Backstage, the air was thick with tension. Insiders whispered of heated confrontations in the locker room, with Roman Reigns reportedly refusing to speak to the Usos. The bloodline, once an unbreakable unit, was fracturing before our eyes. For American fans, who've followed the Anoa'i family's dominance for decades, this was like watching a dynasty crumble. The UK wrestling tradition, built on tales of grit and heartbreak, was felt in every chant as fans processed the collapse of a wrestling empire. Bronson Reed, meanwhile, emerged as a polarizing figure. To some, he was a hero, a man who seized his moment against impossible odds. To others, he was an opportunist who profited from a family's implosion. In post-match interviews, Reed's gruff defiance only fueled the debate. "I don't care who's in my way, bloodline or not, I'm here to take it all," he growled. The US crowd erupted with chants, some in awe, others in disgust, while British fans in London couldn't believe the audacity of this new Kingslayer. But let's not gloss over the human cost. Roman Reigns, for all his larger-than-life persona, is a man who's carried the weight of WWE on his shoulders. The betrayal by the Usos wasn't just a storyline, it was a personal wound. Sources close to the locker room say Reigns was visibly shaken, retreating to his private bus after the match. For fans across America, who've seen Reigns as a symbol of resilience, this glimpse of vulnerability was a stark reminder of the man behind the myth. The Usos, too, are grappling with their own demons. Jimmy and Jay, brothers bound by blood and legacy, now face questions about their loyalty. Was it truly a mistake, or was there something deeper at play? Wrestling insiders speculate about simmering tensions within the bloodline, with some pointing to Jay's past conflicts with Reigns as a potential motive. The UK crowd, always quick to pick up on nuance, chanted, "You sold out." At the Usos during a recent SmackDown taping in London, their voices dripping with betrayal. "Alright, we're halfway through, and things are about to take a serious turn. If you thought you knew where this was going, think again, this is where the real drama unfolds. Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come." Beyond the ring, this moment at Crown Jewel tapped into something deeper, the fragility of trust. In wrestling, where alliances are as vital as championships, the Usos' mistake was a gut punch to every fan who's ever believed in the power of unity. American fans, who pack arenas with unwavering passion, felt the sting of this betrayal as if it were their own. The UK wrestling tradition was felt in every chant, as fans in England mourned the crack in the Bloodline's armor. Let's not forget the health toll on these warriors. Bronson Reed's relentless style has left his body battered, with reports of nagging injuries piling up. Reigns, too, has spoken openly about the physical and mental strain of his reign. The grind of WWE's schedule, cross-country tours for American fans, international trips to electrify the UK crowd, takes a toll that fans rarely see. Behind the bravado, these are men pushing their bodies to the brink, all for the love of the sport. Then there's the emotional weight of legacy. The Anoa'i family, a cornerstone of WWE, has given us legends like Yokozuna, Rikishi, and now Roman and the Usos. But with greatness comes sacrifice. Family breakdowns, like the one we're witnessing, hit hard because they mirror the struggles fans face in their own lives. Across America, fans were in shock, texting friends and flooding social media with reactions. In London, pub conversations turned to the Anoa'i legacy, with fans debating whether the bloodline could ever recover. Scandals and backstage revelations only add fuel to the fire. Whispers of creative disagreements between Reigns and WWE management have surfaced, with some claiming he pushed for a different outcome at Crown Jewel. Others say the Usos' mistake was a scripted way to pivot the storyline, but the real-life tension was undeniable. British fans in London couldn't believe it when clips of Reigns' icy backstage demeanor leaked online, a stark contrast to his usual stoic confidence. The grief and loss tied to this moment can't be ignored. WWE has a history of mourning fallen stars, from Eddie Guerrero to Bray Wyatt, and each loss leaves a scar on the wrestling community. While no one passed away at Crown Jewel, the symbolic death of the Bloodline's unity felt like a funeral for fans. The US crowd erupted with chants of "Roman, Roman," in a desperate plea for their hero to rise again, while the UK crowd's somber silence spoke volumes about the weight of the moment. What does this mean for Bronson Reed? His victory has cemented him as a main event player, but at what cost? The Australian giant now carries the burden of being the man who toppled an icon. Every match he fights, every promo he cuts, will be under the microscope. American fans, quick to embrace underdogs, are split. Some see Reed as a fresh face, others as a villain who shattered a legacy.